Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Car Mechanics Simulator 2015. We are back here in the garage, still working on this Royale Bianco that needed a timing belt change. And where we left off last time we were together was that we had removed all the parts we needed to. You can see the belt tensioner in very poor condition, and also the water pump getting there, and the old timing belt right here at 14%, and we've got the new parts ready to go in. We spent some time over surfing through the auto parts shop, so now it's time to put all of these things back on. So let's go back into our inventory real quick. The last thing that we pulled off was the timing belt, so we need to put that back on and kind of go in that order. So timing belt cover, idle roller, and so on. So hopefully we can remember that order as we go back in. So let's go into the engine. Let's turn around this way. Move that. Okay, there we go. So what we need to do is we need to go into assemble mode. We're going to put the timing belt back on, and we're going to use the one that we just purchased for them. So we'll do that. Alright, next up, let's see if we can get down into here. The timing belt cover goes on next. Okay, and we'll do that. We just got the one, and there we go. We have to bolt these back in place, and that's far fewer bolts than I would expect in the timing belt cover. So next up, we need to put the idle roller back on. Here's one. It's close to the threshold that the customer was wanting. So let's go back to our inventory. Remember, we next need to do the crankshaft pulley, and then we'll go for the water pump. All right. And since we've put the timing belt, you know what? I don't want to run the risk of potentially selling the wrong thing. So we're going to just do this. And that needs one bolt, the crankshaft pulley there. Next up is the water pump. So we will do this. And we're going to put on the new one, of course. 2 bolts. There we go. And, you know, in most cars, you see where this water pump is, how close it is to the timing belt. Usually when you've done the work to get to the water pump, or vice versa to get to the timing belt, you might as well change the other. So most cars are like that. Some cars they're a little more tied together than others, but yeah, there we go. So next up, we need to do this serpentine belt, and then we do the belt tensioner. I wonder if it's ever going to require me to remember all of this stuff later on. Yeah, I don't know. Next up is this serpentine belt here. Put that on. And from that point, let's take a look at our... maybe get out of... Yeah, I think we might be good to go on this. We need to go back into... We need to examine mode. Is that... Okay, there we go. Let's look at our inventory a little bit better condition here. All. Okay, so these 3 we did not use. Alright, so the only thing remaining here is the hood. So let's put that hood back on. And there we go. Alright. So we're sitting at about 4 or 5 minutes here. So what we should probably do, let's sell some of these parts at auction if we can. We get nothing for it, but at least it's out of our inventory. We'll get $13 for the water pump and $13 for the timing belt. There we go. Let's see if we can take this thing for a test drive. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to play around with the driving mechanics. Hopefully I don't wreck the car. I wonder if you can wreck the car. That would be an interesting mechanic to do. The auto repair guy wrecks the car that he's working on. It looks like frame rates have dropped a bit. we'll see how this goes in terms of the recording. Wow, okay. So here's our test drive, okay. Interesting. So this is rather loud in my ear. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, this is very difficult on WASD. Yeah, I'm not breaking any records here. And there we go. We'll bring it to a stop here. I really don't want to wreck the car. I wonder if that's possible. Well, that was interesting. It might do better if I had a controller. I've found that driving games tend to do better with controllers. I used to do driving games with console, on the Nintendo 64 in particular, and that controller was pretty good. So maybe there's a Steam controller in the near future. Who knows? We shall see. All right. Okay, so there's the examine report. We already had the list going, but that was just to try out that mechanic of the game. Looks like our condition on the rear spring, 66%, and for our report here, let's bring that up. Repair part with parts exceeding minimum condition. Okay, so this is the list of parts that we need to replace, and that means that our job here is done. Anything else we want to? Maybe we'll take another photo of this. Yeah, we'll just do maybe like that. So there we go. We're going to take that photo, and that might show up as the screenshot. But there we go. We'll put the camera away, and we will finish this job and see what we get. So we got $429. Our experience level is up to 258. So what we perhaps need to do is take a look at the next car. All right, so let's see. Replace timing related parts, general running gear, control. Let's try this one, the Rene Piccolo. We're going to get started here trying to figure out what's going on with this car. Look at our repair order. All right, so it should be in our inventory now. All right, let's do this. It should be focusing. There's still some F5. What's that going to do? Field of view? Does that change anything? No. So you're sitting here. Oh, we got another phone call. Grand Central Station. Alright, so we'll turn that off. Let's take a look at the phone real quick. We got another Rene Piccolo. Car is hard to control. That's going to be interesting. So for now, let's take a look at this one. Repair order, front spring, outer tie rod, rear shock absorber, rubber bushing. So front spring, outer tie rod. All right. So now that means we need to figure out where all of this stuff is. So maybe we go into... there is no... yeah, so we're in assembly or disassembly mode. So let's go into examine. All right, this one, front spring, and then the rubber bushing down here. So there we go. I think that is going to be what we need to get to. So let's see. We may need to have, okay, so we got to put this on the lift. So how do we get this onto the lift is the next order of business. Let's see, toggle conditions mode, move vehicle. Okay, so this is still part of the tutorial. Alright, always keep your workplace clean and organized. Repairs requiring access to wheels and suspension will only be possible on the lifter. Others can be done elsewhere. Okay, so we want to put this car on the lift. Oh, wow. So there's a little test area, and we can't get to that yet. So we're going to put this on the lifter. Okay, so that's working very similarly. And alright, so now what we need to do is go into normal mode. And we'll see if we can get to the rubber bushing. Okay. Yep, so there we go. We're going to disassemble this thing. And let's look over here. Come on. See if I can get access to it. We'll go back into... Maybe we can do this and maybe come around like so. And kind of move around. It's really weird trying to move all that stuff. And that bushing may not need to be replaced. No, it doesn't need to be replaced. Let's take a look. This one does. This one does not. So we can go back into... well, let's see what else we can get into in terms of this. So this front spring needs to be replaced. Let's go into examine mode. Yeah, so it's just going to be rubber bushing, outer tie rod, rear shock absorber, and the front spring. Where is the tie rod? That's going to be in here. So let's take a look if we can try and get to it. Lower suspension arm. There's the inner tie, front drive axle, front sway.